softball matchup between the visiting Union Knights and the host Waterloo Columbus Sailors. The Knights come into tonight's matchup with a record of 1-6 so far this year. Their one win this season came against Iowa Valley on May 28th, 4-3. So far this week, they were swept in a home doubleheader against Oelwein 12-9 and 20-5, and dropped a home contest to East Marshall last night 10-0, a game where the Knights failed to get a hit. The Sailors come into this game with a record of 7-2 on the season. After being no hit in their 2-0 season opening loss to Cedar Falls, the Sailors have bounced back very well, winning 7 of their last 8. It's been a very successful week for the Sailors. They hit the road for a doubleheader sweep at Applington-Parkersburg on Tuesday, 15-5 and 9-1. They won a road game at AGWSR on Wednesday, 13-2. And last night they won 2 more games, defeating Newman Catholic 8-0 and North Butler 12-0. We're going to take a quick break to hear from some of our great sponsors. When we come back, we'll hear comments from Waterloo Columbus softball coach Chris Olmsted. Stay tuned. You're listening to the Waterloo Columbus softball pregame show on 1650 The Fan.
Welcome back to the Waterloo Columbus softball pregame show here on 1650 The Fan. Recently, Chris Olmsted, head softball coach for the Sailors, was kind enough to join the Fan to talk about his team. Here's what he had to say about the mindset he's looking for out of his young squad.
I want everybody to be happy, and so another thing we talked about, we got a banner in our dugout this year. I stole it from Patrick Murphy, who's the head softball coach at the University of Alabama, just a legend, you know. But he always talked about with his team having Mudita, M-U-D-I-T-A. And so we got a banner about that, and Mudita is basically being happy for other people's accomplishments, you know, and not turn it into necessarily a competition and things like that. So the fact that, you know, they're really, you know, I've seen that this year in the week and a half of practice already, and that's kind of been our approach and at the top of our list. All the other stuff that comes along with softball is going to be fine, as long as you play relaxed and cool, calm, and confident. That we have always talked about that as I want my Columbus team to be that way, no matter the situation. Cool, calm, confident.
Coach Olmsted also discussed what he expects to see from his team on the field this season, both from an offense returning plenty of firepower from last year, as well as a strong returning pitching staff.
So we had a really good offensive team last year, and, you know, I mean, we finished in basically the top 10 in Class 2A and batting average and slugging percentage, total bases, total hits. So as far as the offense goes, I'm hopeful and pleased with what happened last year, and hopeful that those types of numbers happen this year again, without putting the pressure on themselves. So I think we're going to score runs still. The composition of the team is going to be a little bit different. But as far as that offense goes, I think we're going to be performing really, really well. And you know what? We got, you know, with our pitching staff, we go 4 deep, and it's anchored by Haley Frost. And you know what? Haley had, I believe she had, was top 8 in wins last year, and was right at the top of Class 2A in innings pitched as well. And you know, she finished with, I think, 121 Ks it was, and 21 wins. I mean, that's stellar performance. And so, but I'd like to have her have some more help with depth of the pitching staff. I'd like to get more girls in the circle to alleviate some of that off Haley, because I think it would help our overall team in general as we go out through the course of the summer.
Thanks again to Coach Olmsted for taking the time to join the Fan to discuss his Sailor team.
Welcome back to the Waterloo Columbus softball pregame show here on 1650 The Fan. I'm David Warrington, and starters are going to be introduced shortly here in Waterloo. The Sailors are at home hosting the Union Knights. And let's take a look at the starting lineups for tonight's ball game. First for the visitors, the Knights from Union High School. Union is 1-6 so far this year. They'll lead off Ava Mills, playing in left field. Mills, a sophomore, batting .429, 9 of 21 on the season. That is the best batting average on the Union team. Batting second and playing third base, Avery Knoop. Knoop, a freshman, batting .333, 7 of 21 on the season. Jocelyn Gates will bat third. She's playing shortstop. Gates, a senior, batting .400, team-high 8 RBIs and a team-high 6 doubles. Dina Robb bats fourth. She's the catcher. She's starting her 5th ball game of the year, batting .250 with an RBI. Bridget Rohrer bats fifth. She plays first base. So far this season, Rohrer is batting .267, 2 RBIs, and a double. Sydney Anton bats 6th. She'll play center field. The sophomore is batting .062, just 1 of 16, does have 3 RBIs. Mallory Rage will bat 7th. She's playing right field. Rage, a freshman, batting .250 with 2 RBIs sprinkled in. Brooklyn Hubbard bats 8th. She's the starting pitcher. She is 125 at the plate so far this year, and in the circle has pitched 14 innings, 0-3 with an 8.5 ERA, 9 walks, and 6 strikeouts. And batting ninth and playing second base will be Emily Anton. Anton, an 8th grader in the starting lineup, batting .300 with 1 double. And now looking at the starting lineup for the host tonight, the Waterloo Columbus Sailors. They will lead off with Cameron Reginald playing center field. Reginald's batting .281, 7 RBIs, a double, and a triple. Haley Frost will bat second. She'll play left field today. Frost, a junior, batting .448, 11 RBIs, one of the 3 home runs on this Sailor team. Frost also the best pitcher, but she's not getting the start tonight. Batting third and doing the catching is going to be Katie Rudin. Rudin, a junior, batting a team-high .519, 9 RBIs, 2 doubles, and a home run sprinkled in. Sidney Gardner will bat fourth. She's playing first base this evening. Gardner, a junior, batting .444, 7 RBIs, and a home run. Naija Simmons bats fifth. She's playing third base. Simmons, a junior, also batting .444, 11 RBIs, 4 doubles, and a triple. Batting sixth and doing the pitching tonight is going to be Ella Smith. Smith is a junior as well. And she'll be doing the pitching tonight for Waterloo Columbus. Avery Hogan bats seventh. She's going to be playing second base. Hogan, a junior, batting .462, 3 RBIs, 1 walk, 1 strikeout on the season. Also just won a tennis state championship not too long ago, earlier this week. Batting eighth and playing at shortstop, Micah Bromley. Bromley's a freshman. She's batting .304 this season, 5 RBIs and 1 double. And rounding out the order for Waterloo Columbus is Madison Rudin. Rudin will be playing right field tonight. She's a freshman, batting .143 at 3 of 21, 4 walks and 8 strikeouts on the season. There's a look at your starting lineups here tonight. Quickly have to thank all of our great sponsors: Community Buick GMC, Electronic Engineering, Air Services, CDFS Financial Strategies, and the Waterloo Columbus Booster Club. They make broadcasts like you're listening to right now possible. Would not be possible without their great support and contributions. So certainly thank all of them for their great support of Columbus Athletics. These teams have met 15 times as far as the Varsity Bound website goes. Dating back to 2009, it's been a clean sweep for Waterloo Columbus. They lead the series 15-0. They have not lost to Union since Quick Stats and Varsity Bound came online. The closest game was a 3-2 Columbus win back in 2014. But last year was a dominant night for Waterloo Columbus. They traveled to Union on June 4th of last year, and they won those 2 games 11-0 and 16-0. Dominant sweep for Columbus last year on the home diamond of the Union Knights. Knights are coming off an 8-20 season last year. They were 4-12 in the North Iowa Cedar League East, 7th place. Lost in a 3-8 regional first-round matchup at West Marshall, 10-0. 1-6 so far this season. Sailors are coming off a much better season. They were 28-10 last year, including 13-3 in the NICL East, which was a runner-up finish for them. And they lost in a regional semifinal in Class 2A at home against South Hardin by a final of 9-6. Sailors come in with a record of 7 wins and 2 losses. They are coached by Chris Olmstead, and Union 1 win and 6 losses on the season. Jeremy Robb is the head coach for the Knights of Union Community High School. So we'll take one more break, and when we come back, it'll be time for first pitch here in Waterloo between the Waterloo Columbus Sailors and the visiting Union Knights. Stay tuned. You're listening to Waterloo Columbus Softball on 1650 The Fan. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Waterloo Columbus Softball here on 1650 The Fan. I'm David Warrington, and we're just a few moments away from first pitch for tonight's ball game. Waterloo Columbus Sailors playing host to the Knights of Union Community High School here tonight. Union will bat first. Columbus will be in the field, of course. And here's how they will line up defensively. Waterloo Columbus will have Frost, Reginald, and Rudin left to right in the outfield. Gardner will be playing first base. Hogan's at second base. Simmons is over at third base, and it'll be Bromley playing shortstop here tonight. Doing the catching for Waterloo Columbus will be Katie Rudin. And in the circle, getting the start for Waterloo Columbus is Ella Smith. Smith is a junior, making just her 3rd start of the season. Primary starting pitcher is Haley Frost. She's been busy in the circle so far this week, so they're going to go with Ella Smith here tonight. Smith has pitched 8 innings so far this season. Record of 1 win, 1 loss. ERA is at 8.75. She has 2 walks and 6 strikeouts to her credit so far this season. For Union, they will have Ava Mills, Avery Knoop, and Jocelyn Gates to lead off the ball game. The left fielder, third baseman, and shortstop, respectively, for Mills, Knoop, and Gates. Mills is arguably the most dangerous offensive player on this Union team, batting .429, which is highest on the team. 4 RBIs, a double and a home run. And she will step to the plate right now as we get set to go here in Waterloo. Sailors wearing all black here tonight. Black and white socks, as Union wearing their white jerseys, red numerals, with some black trim as well, black pants and red socks. As we will get tonight's ball game started with Ava Mills digging in for Union. Beautiful evening here in Waterloo. Couldn't ask much better of a night for softball. Current weather 76 degrees, mostly sunny, and very little wind to speak of, as the first pitch is going to miss low for ball one, and we're underway at 7:10 p.m. So 1 ball, no strikes is the count. Smith getting just her 3rd start of the season. Here's the 1-0 pitch. That pitch misses high as well, so quickly it's 2-0. As I touched on, Mills has a great batting average of .429. There are 21 at-bats. She's got 9 hits. Also 4 RBIs, a double and a home run. Only struck out twice. 2-0 is going to miss inside, so the count moves to 3-0. Smith in danger of losing the first batter of the ball game here. Smith, a right-handed pitcher. Mills batting from the right side. Here's the 3-0 pitch. That one does just catch the strike zone. So Smith doesn't lose her on that pitch. Count moves to 3 balls and 1 strike. Here's the 3-1 pitch. That is going to just miss inside. Ball 4. And the first batter of the game, Mills, is safely aboard over at first base. That will bring up Avery Knoop, the freshman, starting in the 2 spot for the Union Knights. She'll dig in with a runner on first base. Here's the first pitch. That is going to catch the strike zone for a called strike. 0-1 count as Mills stands aboard at second base. Mills has been the most prolific base stealer for Union so far. 4 steals on 4 attempts. That one's put into play over to second base. Hogan Fields throws to short, gets the lead runner. That's all they were ever going to get, but that does get rid of Mills. And there's just a runner on first base now as Knoop will reach on the fielder's choice. And that will bring in Jocelyn Gates, the senior, batting 3rd here tonight for Union. She's batting .400 so far this season. She'll bat with a runner on first base and 1 away here in the top of the first. Watches the first pitch. It misses well out of the zone for a ball. Knoop's only attempted to steal twice this season, was successful once, so 1 of 2. Here's the 1-0 pitch. That swung on, and it's going to go foul, out of play, down the left field line. That evens up the count, 1 ball and 1 strike. Sailors come into this ball game with a record of 7-2. They've won 7 of their last 8. Were dominant yesterday in a pair of games, winning 8-0 and 12-0. That pitch is sent into left center field. It's going to get down. It'll get to the fence. Knoop round second, jogging her way into third base, and that'll put runners in scoring position at second and third as Gates ropes a line drive to the fence in left center field. And the Knights have something brewing here early on in the ball game here with just 1 out in the top of the first. So great piece of hitting there by Jocelyn Gates. Just took it straight to the wall, probably 1 or 2 hopped the fence out there in left center field. And that'll bring up Dina Robb, the sophomore, playing in just her 5th game of the season. Knights have had 7 games so far. It's her 4th start. First pitch is going to miss out of the zone for ball 1. Gates over at second base. Knoop is at third. Ella Smith trying to dig in here and not let the runners in scoring position come in. 1 away here in the top of the first. Here's the 1-0 pitch. That is going to catch the strike zone. Great spot there from Smith. And that evens up the count, 1 ball, 1 strike. Here's the 1-1 delivery from Smith. That's going to miss out of the strike zone for a ball, so the count goes to 2-1. So far this season, Robb batting .250, not a huge sample size, only has 8 at-bats, has picked up 2 hits. 1 RBI, 1 walk, and 2 strikeouts as well. Here's the 2-1. Holds back on that one, but it's a called strike. And that evens up the count at 2-2. This will be a big spot for Smith to get a strikeout. Has Robin a 2-strike count here in the top of the first. Here's the 2-2 pitch. There's a half-hearted swing, and it's going to go foul down the left field line just in front of the fence. The count will remain at 2-2. Rob started their swing considerably early, then tried to hold back and finally let her swing go there at the end. Ends up with a foul ball down the left field line, and Rob stays alive with 2 runners in scoring position. Here comes the 2-2 pitch. That's going to miss inside, and the count has gone full. 3 balls and 2 strikes for Dina Robb. Ella Smith trying to make sure she doesn't lose the batter here. Rob digs in. Here comes the payoff pitch. That swung on and sent well out of play. That'll be a foul ball, and the count stays at 3-2. It's been a nice at-bat here from Rob. She's fouled off plenty of pitches, staying alive. Trying to make something happen here with a couple of runners in scoring position. She digs in for another payoff pitch. Here's the 3-2. It swung on, and that one's going to go foul as well. So great fight from Rob. She's been fouling off plenty of pitches this at-bat, making Smith work her pitch count. 18 pitches for Smith so far. And we'll try the 3-2 again. 3-2 pitch on the way. That one's put into play as well. And that'll get foul as well. So 3 straight foul balls for Rob. And she's trying to stay alive here with 2 runners in scoring position. 3 balls, 2 strikes is the count. Here's the 3-2. That one's put in play, and it's going to go foul as well. Rob's at the same spot pretty much every time. It's gone foul over the fence, down the left field line. It's 4 straight foul balls for Rob and 5 in the last 6 pitches. She fouled one off, took ball 3, and then just fouled off 4 pitches in a row. Here's the 3-2 again. And a great at-bat by Rob. She draws ball 4, and she trots down to first base. Bases are loaded with just 1 away here in the top of the first. And that will bring up the 5-hole hitter for Union. That is Bridget Rohr, sophomore, batting .267 this year, 4 hits and 15 at-bats, 2 RBIs and a double to her credit. It's also walked 4 times, which is tied for best on the team. A walk here would, of course, score a run with the bases loaded. Smith in some trouble here in the top of the first. Rohr digs in from the right side. First pitch is taken, and it catches the strike zone. Called strike 1. No balls and a strike is the count on Rohr. Here's the 0-1 delivery. That one catches the strike zone as well. Correction, that's going to be a called ball. Evens up the count. 1 ball, 1 strike. Here's the 1-1 pitch. Swing and a miss. That'll be strike 2. And Smith again has a batter and a 2-strike count. Smith trying to work out of the bases loaded situation here with 1 out in the top of the first. Here's the 1-2 pitch. That'll be taken, looked at for ball 2. Count is even, 2 balls and 2 strikes. Rob is at first, Gates at second, and Knoop over at third base for the Knights. Just 1 away here in the top of the first. Here comes the 2-2 from Smith. That'll be looked at inside, and that is ball 3. So the count is full. Got another another Knight facing a full count. Of course, we just had Rob work the full count for a walk. Here comes the 3-2 to Rohr. She puts that one in play, a short little pop-up. It is going to be caught in short left field. And Knoop was not tagging, so she cannot advance. And the Sailors catch a bit of a break there. Frost and Bromley had a little bit of miscommunication, but ended up with Frost making the grab out there in shallow left field. And expecting it to drop, Knoop did not tag, so she was not able to score. It was a little shallow anyways. Not sure if she could have made it regardless. But now we've got two away. Bases are still loaded, of course. First pitch is in there for a strike on Anton. Anton is a sophomore, batting .062 this year, 1 hit in 16 at-bats. She bats in a big RBI spot here with 3 on and 2 away. Here's the 0-1. That one's fouled back, out of play. So the count quickly goes to no balls and 2 strikes. Has been anything but an easy inning here for Ella Smith in her first inning of work. She's a strike away from getting out of it unscathed. Here comes the 0-2. Swing and a miss, strike 3. And the 1-out, bases loaded situation does not come to pass. Nothing across the board for Union. Columbus will look to get the bats going in the bottom of the first. Stay tuned. You're listening to Waterloo Columbus Softball on 1650 The Fan. Welcome back to Waterloo Columbus Softball here from Columbus Catholic High School in Waterloo. The Knights just got the bases loaded with just 1 away in that previous inning, but Ella Smith worked out of it, got a pop out and got a strikeout. And we go to the bottom of the first scoreless. Starting lineup out there in the field for the Union Knights. Mills, Anton, and Rage are in the outfield left to right. Rohr will play first base. Anton is at second. Knoop is at third. Gates playing shortstop. Dina Robb is doing the catching. And starting pitcher in the circle for Union is Brooklyn Hubbard, the sophomore making her 4th start of the season. In 14 innings, she's 0-3 with an ERA of 8.5, 9 walks, and 6 strikeouts to her name so far this season. Leading off the home half of the first for the Sailors will be Cameron Reginald, the junior, as the first pitch is going to miss inside for a ball. Reginald batting from the right side. She's batted .281 so far this season, 7 RBIs, a double, and 1 of just 2 triples on the team. 3 walks and 5 strikeouts as well. Hubbard also throws with her right hand, so it's a righty-on-righty matchup as that pitch misses low for a ball. Quickly, Reginald works ahead 2-0. Reginald digs in for the 2-0. Here's the pitch. Watches that one. It misses as well. 3 balls and no strikes for Reginald, the center fielder, leading off for Waterloo Columbus. Here's the 3-0. That pitch misses as well. And it's a 4-pitch walk to begin the bottom half of the first as Reginald jogs down to first base. And that'll bring up Haley Frost, the junior, batting .448 this season. One of the best batting averages on this team. Not the best, but it's certainly up there. There's a lot of good batting averages on this Sailor squad early in the year. First pitch is looked at. Squared to bump, but pulled back, and Reginald heads down to second base. So now the Sailors have a runner in scoring position. Reginald over at second. Frost batting from the left side. He's got 11 RBIs so far this season, also has a home run. Now has a runner in scoring position. Swings at that one, but sends it foul out of play down the left field line. That'll even the count at 1-1. Frost, a phenomenal pitcher as well. As I mentioned, not getting the start here tonight. She's had a very busy week. Already 5 games this week for the Sailors. They've won all 5, including 2 just last night. That pitch is going to miss outside for ball 2. 2 balls and a strike on Frost. The junior playing left field here tonight. Here's the 2-1. That one misses as well, so the count moves to 3-1. 3 balls and 1 strike is the count for Haley Frost, with Cameron Reginald over at second base. Rudin stands in the on-deck circle. Here's the 3-1 pitch. That pitch misses as well. 2 batters faced for Hubbard and 2 walks. That'll put runners on first and second base as in steps Katie Rudin, the catcher, batting third for Waterloo Columbus. She does have the highest batting average on the team at .519, 14 hits and 27 at-bats, 9 RBIs, 2 doubles, and one of the 3 home runs the Sailor Ball Club has hit so far this year. Here's the first pitch. Squares the bunt, lays a pretty good one down. It'll be fielded by the pitcher, Hubbard. Throw over to first base is in time, but the sacrifice works as intended, as now 2 runners in scoring position for the cleanup hitter, Sydney Gardner. So Sydney Gardner digs in with 1 out, runners on second and third base. Good RBI spot here for Gardner and the Sailors. Here's the first pitch. That one's in the dirt, low for a ball. Count moves to 1-0. 1 ball and no strike on Gardner. Frost at second. Reginald over at third. 1-0 pitch also misses, gets away. Reginald's going to hold up over there at third base. Didn't go too far away from Rob behind the plate. 2 balls and no strikes, the count on Gardner. Gardner's a .444 hitter this season, 7 RBIs and a home run as well. Here's the 2-0. That one also misses low, so the count now moves to 3-0. 3 balls and no strikes for Sydney Gardner. Here's the 3-0 pitch. Watches it, and it misses as well. That's ball 4, and the bases are loaded now. As in steps Nyasia Simmons, the junior, batting .444 this season, third baseman. 11 RBIs on the year, 4 doubles and a triple as well. She bats with the bases loaded as Rob goes into the circle to have a quick conversation with Hubbard. Catcher wanting to have a chat with her pitcher. It's had some major trouble with her control so far in this appearance. So far this year, Hubbard had 9 walks to 6 strikeouts. That number's up 3 more now, up to 12 walks. As other than the sacrifice bunt, all 3 Sailor batters have reached via the walk. Here's the first pitch to Simmons. That's driven into left center field. It's going to get down. That'll score at least 2, as Gardner will stay put at second base. But Reginald and Frost both hustle their way across the plate to score, and the Sailors lead it 2-0 on the RBI base hit into left center field from Nia Simmons. Great piece of hitting to open her night for Simmons. And the Sailors work ahead 2-0. So Simmons on first base now, Gardner at second. And that'll bring up the pitcher, Ella Smith, the .357 batter this season, batting from the right side. Smith, the pitcher here tonight, as the first pitch is put into play. It's going to be misplayed over at second base, gets under her glove, and that'll plate another run as Gardner jogs across home plate. And that's a 3-0 lead for Waterloo Columbus. A hard ground ball goes in to right field, and the Sailors lead it 3-0. That'll bring up Avery Hogan. Hogan fresh off of helping Waterloo Columbus win their 21st state championship in tennis. Also starting at second base for the Sailors here on the softball diamond. Watches the first pitch, and it misses for a ball. Hogan batting .462 this year. Has only played in 5 games. Had to miss some time due to that tennis run. Also 3 RBIs, a walk and a strikeout. Has a couple in scoring position here with 1 out. That pitch misses as well for ball 2. 2-0 is the count. Hogan looking to add to her RBI total this season. Here's the 2-0 pitch. Squares to bunt, gets it down. It's going to just stay fair. And Hogan is going to reach safely at first base, and that will score another run. So everybody is safe 2 runs come across the plate for Waterloo Columbus, and it's 5-0 here in the bottom of the first. The ball just stayed fair, was on top of the foul line, rolled a few feet down the first baseline, but not very far. And that scores a pair of runs. So it's 5-0 Waterloo Columbus. Avery Hogan's over at first base. And that'll bring up Micah Bromley, the freshman in the starting lineup for the Sailors. Started every game. That first pitch misses low, and Hogan's on her way to second base. She's in there safely. There was a throw, but it was well late. So another runner in scoring position here. Hogan safely at second. As Bromley, the 8-hole hitter, bats here with just 1 away. Here's the 1-0 pitch. Swing and a miss, and that gets away from the catcher, Robb. And Hogan will move up 60 more feet. She now stands at third base. So the count is 1-1, but Hogan is safe at third. On the passed ball from Dina Robb behind the plate for the Knights. Now the Sailors, already leading 5-0, have another runner just 60 feet away from scoring. 1-1 count for Bromley. That pitch is going to just miss. Did catch the strike zone. And that'll be strike 2. 1 ball, 2 strikes on Bromley. She digs in with 1 away and a runner on third. Here's the 1-2 pitch. Puts that one in play. That's going to land in short left field. That will plate Hogan from third. Bromley takes the turn now. She's heading to second, and she will be in there safely, slides in. That's an RBI double for Micah Bromley. It's 6-0. Sailors have gotten to the 9-hole hitter in their lineup, and the only out was a sacrifice bunt. An incredible start here tonight for Waterloo Columbus as they lead at 6-0, and the 9-hole hitter, Madison Rudin, steps up to the plate. So 6-0 as Rudin steps in from the left side. The freshman's batting 143 this year. She swings at the first pitch. That's over into left field, and that'll drop as well. So Bromley will move up 60 feet further. Now runners on first and third. The offense is working on all cylinders here for Waterloo Columbus, as there's another base hit. And the Sailors have officially batted the round, as Cameron Reginald, the leadoff hitter, will bat next after this conversation in the circle, as Coach Jeremy Robb is going to go in and talk to his pitcher. He's got the whole infield in there. He's having a conversation with his team. Hubbard's given up 6 runs here in just 1/3 of pitching. 1/3 of an inning. 5 hits so far for the Sailors. They've also been walked 3 times. As Waterloo Columbus leads this ball game 6-0, just 1 out here in the bottom of the first. And they are going to go to a new pitcher. This looks like that will be stepping into the circle is Zandra Anderson. Anderson not in the starting lineup here tonight, so I believe this is just a straight switch. Hubbard for Anderson. As Hubbard only makes it through 1/3 of an inning of work here tonight before being subbed out of the ball game. As now Anderson will get to work in the circle. Anderson, a sophomore, making her 6th pitching appearance of the season, just her 2nd relief appearance. She's the number 1 pitcher for the Knights. Did not get the start tonight. In 20 2/3 innings of work, she's 1-3 with an ERA of 6.1. Has a dozen walks as well as a dozen strikeouts on the season. And she'll step into an unfavorable situation here with her team already down 6-0. Runners on first and third. She will be facing the top of the Sailor lineup as well as Cameron Reginald, the leadoff hitter, will dig in. Anderson just getting her final warm-up tosses in. As Hubbard will, of course, be in line for the loss, giving up the 6 runs, all of which were earned. No errors behind her through just 1/3 of an inning. Anderson's got her warm-up pitches done. She's ready to go. Her catcher, Dina Robb, hustles back over to her position behind home plate. And Cameron Reginald will dig in for Waterloo Columbus. Reginald drew a walk in her first at bat. One of those first three hitters that drew those walks. It went walk, walk, sack, bunt, and walk to begin the ball game for the Sailors. That pitch misses in the dirt, and that's going to plate another run as in from third base comes Micah Bromley. She'll score on the wild pitch. Rudin also moved up to second base. And it's a 7-0 lead here in the bottom of the first for Waterloo Columbus. I mentioned they've dominated this series. Going back as far as I could find online in 2009, they have not lost to Union. Lead the series 15-0, including a doubleheader sweep of 11-0 and 16-0 last season. They already lead at 7-0 here tonight. As that pitch catches the strike zone to Reginald. Counts evened up at 1-1. Can't ask for a better start to the ball game if you're Waterloo Columbus. Here's the 1-1 pitch from Anderson. That swung on, shot back to Anderson, off her glove, and it's misplayed at second base as well. Rudin takes the turn at third base, but stays home, and now she's going to head home as the ball was misplayed by the catcher. She slides in safely, and it's 8-0. 2 errors on that play. An error on fielding the ground ball and also a misplayed throw back into the infield to Robb, and it's 8-0. Disastrous here for Union, but a great start for Waterloo Columbus. As Rudin comes in to score on that previous play, Reginald also advanced. And that'll bring in Haley Frost. She was also walked her first time up. Swings at the first pitch. There's a drive out to left field. It's going to be caught by Mills. The left fielder makes the grab, and Reginald stays put at second base. Finally, a second out is recorded, and that is the first out that was not a sacrifice. As before that, the only out had been from Katie Rudin, who steps into the plate now. She laid down a sacrifice bunt back to the pitcher. She digs in with 2 away and a runner on second base. The Sailors leading this one 8-0. 2 outs here in the bottom of the first. Here's the pitch from Anderson. That one's put in play, but foul down the third baseline. Count moves to 0-1. Rudin digs back in. Here's the 0-1 pitch. That was put in play right back to Anderson. Gets right over her head. And that's going to play another run as there's an RBI base hit. Rudin advanced to second on the throw. The line drive single goes into center field. Reginald scores on the play. And another run comes in to score. It's 9-0 as Sydney Gardner digs in for Waterloo Columbus. Coach Olmsted heads onto the field to talk to the home plate umpire. Looks like we might get a courtesy runner for the catcher, Rudin. As Rudin jogs off the field. Sounds like Claire Schaefer will enter the ball game to courtesy run. Schaefer, an 8th grader, and this is her first varsity appearance of her young career. 8th grader jogs out there to run at second base. Schaefer, as I mentioned, just an 8th grader. Has not entered high school yet, but of course here in Iowa you can play baseball and softball after you complete your 8th grade year. And Schaefer making the first appearance of her varsity softball career. First pitch of this at-bat is swung on and missed. Sydney Gardner is the batter. She was also walked back in the first inning. Or excuse me, not back in the first inning, earlier here in the first inning. Still inning number 1 here in Waterloo. No balls and a strike. Here's the pitch. That one's looked at, and it's called strike. So no balls and 2 strikes with the count on Sydney Gardner. Runner on second base with 2 away here in the bottom half of inning number 1. Here comes the 0-2 pitch. Swing and a miss, strike 3. And finally, the bottom of the first is over, but not before Waterloo Columbus plates 9 runs. They lead at 9-0 as we head to the top of the second. Stay tuned. You're listening to Waterloo Columbus softball on 1650 The Fan. Waterloo Columbus leads this one 9-0 as we head to the top of the second. Sailors plated 9 runs there in the bottom half of the first as they have pulled away to the 9-0 lead. Batting for Union will be Mallory Rage, the freshman, batting 7th for the Sailors. Rage playing right field here today. Steps in to begin the top of the second. Watches the first pitch. It misses inside for a ball. Count goes to 1-0. Here's the 1-0 pitch. Swing and a miss. Strike 1. Count is evened at 1 ball and 1 strike. The Knights left 3 runners on back in the first. As that pitch catches the strike zone. Called strike makes the count 1-2. The Knights had runners at first, second, and third with just 1 away, but ended up getting out of it unscathed. Did the Sailors. That one's popped up, and it will be caught by Avery Hogan. Ran almost all the way to the pitcher's circle before making the grab, and that'll be the first out of the side. That'll bring up Xandra Anderson, the pitcher, batting 8th. She did not start the ball game, but the starting pitcher, Brooklyn Hubbard, did not make it out of the first inning, only made it a third of an inning. So now Anderson digs in with 1 away and nobody on here in the top of the second. Swings the first pitch, it's put in play. Simmons fields, throws over to first base. It's in plenty of time. And via the 1 pitch at bat, we've got 2 away. 5-3 ground out. Simmons makes the play over to Gardner. And that'll bring up the 9-hole hitter for Union, and that's Emily Anton. She's an 8th grader getting a start here tonight. Has played in 6 games with 5 starts entering tonight. She digs in with 2 away. Watches the first pitch. It misses upstairs for a ball. Anton batting .300 so far this year. 3 hits and 10 at-bats. Does have 1 double to her credit as well. Here's the 1-0. That one's going to miss in the dirt. Nearly caught Anton. It might have hit her, but it hit the ground first. The count moves to 2 balls and no strikes. Anton digs in. Here with 2 away in the top of the second. 2-0 pitch is fouled back right into the fence. Count moves to 2-1. Not a bad cut there from Anton. Sends it back to the fence for a foul ball. 2 balls and a strike. Here's the 2-1 pitch. That pitch just catches the strike zone for a call. It's strike 2. The count is evened up at 2-2. Here's the 2-2 pitch. That swung on, short little pop fly in foul territory. It will drop. Both Simmons and Rudin were hustling over there, but couldn't quite get there in time. That'll be a foul ball. Count stays at 2-2. Not a bad at-bat at all here from Anton. Just an 8th grader. There's been pretty much an everyday starter for this Union team so far this season. Putting together a nice at-bat here in the 9 spot. Here's the 2-2 pitch. That one's put in play. Hogan will drift back just a little bit, makes the grab over there at second base, just in front of the lip of the grass. And it's a 1-2-3 inning for Waterloo Columbus. They lead at 9-0 as we head to the bottom of the second. Stay tuned. You're listening to Waterloo Columbus softball on 1650 The Fan. We've reached the bottom of the second here in Waterloo, and it's a 9-0 lead for the Sailors. They had all 9 batters come to the plate, followed up by the first 4 batters coming to the plate again. 13 batters came to the plate in the bottom of the first, and they put 9 runs across the board. Very impressive offensive display from the Sailors. They lead at 9-0 here as we get set to begin the bottom half of inning number 2. Xandra Anderson still in the circle for Union. She entered the ball game with 1 out in the previous inning. Got the 2 outs to retire the side. As it'll be Nia Simmons digging in to begin the bottom half of inning number 2. Simmons 1 for 1 in the day. She sent a line drive single into left field back in the first inning. Now gets her second at-bat here in inning number 2. Here's the first pitch. First one's put into play, and that's a base hit. Simmons gets her second hit of the night. That one's a single, lined into center field. It's a great way to start the inning for Waterloo Columbus. That'll bring up Ella Smith, batting 6th for the Sailors. She digs in with a runner on first base. Nobody out here in the bottom of the second. Simmons over at first base. As Anderson goes into her windup. First pitch is looked at. They'll throw back over to first base. Simmons back in time, throws in the dirt anyways. First pitch was a strike. Count is 0-1. Anderson with the 0-1 pitch. That's put in play over to second base. Anton Fields tags Simmons to get the lead runner, and that's a double play. Good heads-up play for the second baseman, Emily Anton, just an 8th grader. Makes the heads-up play and turns 2. We've got 2 away here in the bottom of inning number 2 as Avery Hogan will dig in for the Sailors. So Anton makes the tag of Simmons herself and throws over to first to get the second out of the play. And Hogan digs in with 2 away. Hogan's 1 for 1 in the day as the first pitch is going to miss low and out of the zone for a ball. Hogan reached on a bunt back to the pitcher in her previous at-bat. Now digs in with nobody on and 2 outs. Here's the 1-0. That one misses the zone as well, so the count moves to 2 balls and no strikes. As was displayed in her previous at-bat, Hogan, great speed down that first base line, beat out the bunt in her first at-bat of the ball game. Here's the 2-0 pitch. Watches that one, and it misses as well, so the count is now 3-0. Hogan has taken the first 3 pitches of the at-bat, and all have missed the strike zone. Here comes the 3-0 pitch to Hogan. Watches that one, turns to throw her back towards the dugout, but it's a called strike instead, so the at-bat will continue as the count moves to 3-1. Hogan still on a great hitter's count here, 3 balls and 1 strike. Here's a 3-1 pitch. Watches that one, and that one is ball 4. So ball 4 comes a pitch later than Hogan thought it would, but nonetheless makes her way down to first base, and with 2 outs, Avery Hogan safely at first base. That'll bring up the 8-hole hitter for Waterloo Columbus, the shortstop Micah Bromley. The freshman also got a base hit her first time up. In fact, doubled into left field. Now has a runner on first here with 2 away. Holds back her swing on the first pitch. And does so wisely as that one was well out of the zone for a ball. She works ahead 1-0. Hogan has stolen 5 bases on 5 attempts so far this season. She's certainly a runner to keep an eye on over there at first. Here's the 1-0 pitch. That one swung on, a short little pop up into foul ground, and it's going to stay in the fence, but it will not be caught. That'll be a foul ball, and the count's even at 1-1. Robb was hustling over there, but couldn't get there in time, as Bromley's at-bat will continue. A ball and a strike on the freshman. Bromley digs in for the 1-1 pitch. Anderson gets set. Here's the delivery. Holds back on that one, but it's a called strike. Just caught the outside portion of the strike zone. And the count moves to a ball and 2 strikes. Bromley trying to keep the inning going here. 2 outs in the bottom of the second. Sailors leading 9-0. Puts that one in play. A little pop-up into short left field. It's fair, and it is down. And that'll be a single for Micah Bromley. Just popped that one up into short left field, but it was too far back for either Knoop or Gates to get there, and Mills, the left fielder, couldn't get there either. So that'll be a single for Bromley. She's at first. Hogan had to stay at second due to how shallow the ball was hit. The two-out rally continues here for the Sailors, as that'll bring up Madison Rudin. She bats from the left side here with two away. Swings at the first pitch. Has to reach out and get that one. Just catches the P7 and fouls it back to the fence. Foul ball makes the count 0-1. Bromley standing at first and Hogan at second for the Sailors. Here's the pitch from Anderson. That one's chopped foul as well. That one looked very similar to the first pitch of the AB. Both of them result in foul balls. So the count goes to 0-2. Anderson a strike away from getting out of the inning without letting a runner come across. Top of the order is due up for the Sailors, as Rudin is the 9-hole hitter for Waterloo Columbus. Here's the pitch. That one's in the dirt, and both runners will advance 60 feet. As now Hogan stands over at third base, and Bromley has advanced to second. Here's the pitch from Anderson. That one misses outside. Count is evened up, 2 balls and 2 strikes. Rudin digs in for the 2-2. 2 runners in scoring position. 2 outs here in the second inning. That one's popped up, and it's going to get out of play over the top of the Columbus dugout. Foul ball keeps the at-bat alive. Rudin putting together a nice at-bat here. Here's the 2-2 pitch again. That one's going to miss outside, and the count is full. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Sailors trying to extend their lead here in the bottom of the second. They already lead this one 9-0 after a 9-run first inning. Here's the payoff pitch. That one's a called strike 3, and that will end the inning. So nothing across after 9 runs were scored in the first inning. Our score remains 9-0 as we head to the third. Stay tuned. You're listening to Waterloo Columbus Softball on 1650 The Fan. We've reached inning number 3 here in Waterloo, and the Sailors lead at 9-0. They had 3 runners reach base back in the bottom of the second, but a double play as well as a strikeout with 2 away in the inning resulted in no runs coming across, as we have made it to the top of the batting order for Union. Leading off the third inning will be the leadoff hitter. That is Ava Mills. First pitch from Smith. Misses for a ball.
Let's go.
Mills reached via the free pass in her first at-bat of the ball game. Worked ahead 1-0 here. That second pitch misses as well, so the count moves to 2-0. Mills has looked very selective at the plate so far today, as here comes the 2-0 pitch. That one's in there for a called strike. Count moves to 2-1. Nice spot on that pitch from Smith. Here's the 2-1. That one will miss the zone just by a little bit for ball 3. Here's the 3-1. That one swung on and fouled back. Fouled into the fence. Count has been worked full. 3 balls and 2 strikes is the count. We'll have a payoff pitch upcoming here to lead off the third inning. Here's the 3-2. That one swung on, put in play, but it's going to get out of play for a foul ball, as the count will stay full. Looks like Micah Bromley making her way down to the bullpen. Bromley has pitched twice this season for the Sailors. Might want to be giving her a little work here down the stretch of this game that's already gotten fairly out of hand here in the third inning. Here comes a 3-2 pitch. That one's hit well, but out of play. That'll land on a roof of a building over the fence. Count stays at 3-2. Mills putting together a very nice at-bat. Here's the 3-2 pitch. That one's chopped foul down the third base line. Gets into left field. Count stays at 3-2. Smith and Mills having a really nice battle here. Count remains full. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Here's the 3-2 pitch. And that one will miss outside for ball 4. And Mills fouls off pitches long enough that she ends up having ball 4 missed outside, and she makes her way down to first base. So it's a walk to lead off the inning. That brings up Avery Knoop, the freshman, batting second for Union. 0 for 1 in the day so far. Has a runner on first here. Watches the first pitch. Nick catches the zone for a strike. Knoop grounded into a fielder's choice. Back in her first at-bat in inning number 1. Here's the 0-1 pitch. That one is going to just miss outside. Not a bad spot by Smith, but called ball 1. Count is 1-1. Here's the 1-1 delivery. And that ball is looked at, and it is called for ball 2. The count goes to 2-1. Here's the 2-1 pitch. That swung on. Foul pop is going to be just out of the reach of Rudin. The catcher was stretching out as far as she could, but couldn't quite get to it. Ball falls to the ground for a foul ball, and the count moves to 2-2. Knoop looking to get on base here in the third inning. Mills is already aboard at first base. Sailors lead this one 9-0. Here's the 2-2. That one's going to miss low and inside for ball 3. So again, the count is full. First 2 batters of the inning have worked the count as much as it can go. And we'll have a payoff pitch upcoming. Here's the delivery from Smith. That one's sent into right center field. The catch is not going to be made. Diving effort from Rudin, but she couldn't get there. It will get it into the infield very quickly. Not quite quickly enough to get Mills at second base, but it was very close. And that'll be a single into the outfield for Avery Knoop. So the first 2 runners reach of the inning. And that will bring up Jocelyn Gates, the senior, batting third for the night. She had a base hit in her first at-bat of the ball game, doubled to center field. Nearly scored a run, but the runner had to hold up at third base. As that first pitch misses for a ball.
Good, look good.
Pitch was just high. Knights have Knoop over at first base, Mills at second, as Gates digs in here. Nobody out in the top of the third. Watches that one as well, and it misses high. 2 balls, no strikes for Jocelyn Gates. Batting .400 entering play today. Here's the 2-0. That one's called for a strike. Really nice pitch from Smith. Catches the zone, and the count moves to 2-1. Here's the 2-1. And that nearly gets Gates. She has to quickly move out of the way. Pitch misses for ball 3, and the count moves to 3-1. Here's the 3-1 pitch. That one's chopped foul down the third base line, so the count again goes full. 3 balls and 2 strikes.
Go out.
The count once again is full. All 3 batters of the inning have forced the count full so far. Here comes the 3-2 pitch. That one's driven high into the air, back in left field, back towards the fence, and it is going to be dropped out there deep left field. Nobody's going to score, however, as Gates will only get the first base on the high, long fly ball. The runners on first, second, and third for Waterloo Columbus. And that'll bring up Dino Robb for the Knights. Robb batting with the bases loaded. Robb was walked back in her first at bat. Of course, that would score a run in this situation. Here's the pitch. That's going to miss high for a ball. Gates at first, Knoop at second, and Mills at third for Union. Here's the 1-0 pitch. That pitch is going to miss as well, so the count moves to 2-0.
Let's go.
Here comes the 2-0 pitch. The pitch misses, and it's going to be thrown over to first base, not in time. Correcting, the pitch did catch the zone for a strike. Rudin threw over to first base, but Gates dove back safely. Count is 2 balls and a strike. Here's the 2-1 pitch. It's driven down the third base line, but it is foul. The count is evened up at 2-2. 2 balls and 2 strikes on Robb. Bases are loaded here. Nobody out in the top of the third. Baylor's leading this one 9-0. Knights threatening, however. Here's the 2-2 pitch. That one's chopped over to Simmons. She'll throw home, and they get the lead runner at home. Great heads-up play by the third baseman, Nia Simmons, as the fielder's choice results in the first out of the side and no runs coming across. Quick heads-up play by Simmons to get Mills trying to come in to score. So bases are still loaded, but now there's 1 out, and that will bring up Bridget Rohrer batting in the 5 spot for Union. Bases are still loaded for her. It looks like we have a courtesy runner over there at first base. I believe that is Addie Pospisil. First pitch misses the zone. Pospisil is an 8th grader making her 5th appearance of the season for Union. Here's the 1-0 pitch to Rohrer. And that will catch the strike zone for strike 1. A ball and a strike here on Bridget Rohrer. He's 0 for 1 so far today. Popped out to the left fielder back in her first at-bat. Here's the pitch. That one's going to miss high out of the zone for ball 2. 2 balls and a strike. Here's the 2-1 delivery. That pitch is going to miss inside for ball 3. 3 balls and a strike is the count on Rohrer. The walk here would score a run with the bases loaded. That ball's put in play down the left field line, and it is a foul ball. Just barely fouled down the left field line. The count will go full. 3 balls and 2 strikes. Rohrer digs in with the count full. Here's the pitch to Rohrer. Swings through it, and it's going to be fouled off. The count remains full at 3 balls and 2 strikes. Here with 1 out in the top of the third. Smith delivers the 3-2. That one's going to miss high out of the zone for ball 4. And that will score a run as Knoop will come in to score on the play. And the Knights are on the board. They still trail at 9-1. That'll bring in Carly Rickert for Union. Rickert entering the ball game for the Knights. Sydney Anton was in this spot before, but now Rickert enters the ball game. First 2 pitches missed. The count is 2 balls and no strikes. That pitch is going to miss for ball 3. Count moves to 3-0. Rickert batting from the left side for the Knights. Here's the 3-0 pitch. And that one is going to catch the zone just barely for a strike. Count goes to 3-1. Rickert thought she was heading down to first base, but instead she'll dig back in for the 3-1 pitch. That one's swung on. It's going to be misplayed over at second base. And it's misplayed out in the outfield as well. So that'll plate 2 more runs. As into the ball game at second base for the Sailors is Abby Weber. And she couldn't catch that ball. So that brings in 2 runs as Pospisil scored on the little bobble out in center field by Reginald. First pitch is going to miss for a ball.
Let's go!
Batter is Mallory Rage for the Knights. Runners on first or in second and third here. That pitch does catch the zone for a strike, so the count 1-1. Rohr is at third base for the Knights, while Rickert is over at second base. 1-1 pitch is chopped over to third base. Simmons is in a rundown with Rohr. Rudin throws back over to shortstop. Now the rundown still going on here as Smith has gotten in on it, and finally the out is recorded. They'll throw over to third base as Rickert advanced. And now Rage is also going to advance over to second base. So all told, 2 outs. As Rohr was caught in the rundown, several players touched the ball. Ultimately results in the lead runner being tagged out. The runners advancing to second and third on the play as well. So 2 outs. All sorts of players touched the ball on that play. So 2 outs. Count is 1-0. Then steps Zandra Anderson. That one's a called strike. Anderson 0 for 1 in the day. Grounded out to third in her first at-bat. Digs in here with runners on second and third. And 2 outs. Swings through that one for strike 2. 1 ball and 2 strikes on Zandra Anderson, the pitcher for the Knights. Here's the 1-2 pitch. That pitch just misses. Smith wanted it, but it is called a ball by the home plate umpire, and count moves to 2-2.
Let's finish it.
Smith trying to get out of the inning. Here's the 2-2 pitch. And that one catches the outside corner of the strike zone for a called strike 3. And that will retire the side, but not before the Knights bring 3 runners across the plate to get within 6. Sailors lead at 9-3. Stay tuned. You're listening to Waterloo Columbus Softball on 1650 The Fan. It's a 9-3 ball game here in Waterloo. Sailors leading the Knights by 6 runs. Waterloo Columbus 9, Union 3. As we head to the bottom half of inning number 3, Knights finally got on the board there. In the previous half inning, they brought 3 across. It'll be the top of the order due up for Waterloo Columbus. Cameron Reginald will begin the inning. As the final warm-up toss is thrown from Anderson, Robb makes the throw down to second base. And we're set to go here in the bottom half of inning number 3.
Number 6, center fielder.
Cameron Reginald digs in here to begin the bottom of the third. Reginald 0 for 1 in the day. She walked her first at bat and then Grounded into an error her second at bat. She digs in with her club, leading it by 6 at 9-3. Here's the first pitch from Anderson. That one's going to miss the zone for a ball. Anderson has worked an inning and 2/3 of relief here so far tonight. Anderson's given up just 1 run. It was unearned. 8 runs, 7 earned were given up by the starting pitcher. That was Brooklyn Hubbard, as that pitch misses for ball 2. The count is 2-0. Reginald has reached base both times so far tonight, but has not recorded the hit. And here's the 2-0 pitch. That one misses as well, so the count moves to 3-0. Reginald trying to draw her second walk of the contest. Anderson digs in for the 3-0. That pitch catches the strike zone. Little movement on that one from Anderson. Count moves to 3 balls and a strike. Here's the 3-1 pitch. Now one misses for ball 4, so Reginald leads off the bottom of the 3rd with a walk, her second of the night. And she'll stand aboard at first base as that brings in Haley Frost. Frost batting from the left side is 0 for 1 so far today. She also walked her first at-bat, and then she flew out to left field in her second at-bat. Frost, a .448 hitter entering play today. One of several players who has played in and started all 10 games for Waterloo Columbus. Squares the bunt, pulls back. Reginald heading her way down to second base, and she'll slide in safely. First pitch was a called strike. Now Reginald stands aboard at second base. Nine to 3 our score. Sailors leading it by 6. Trying to increase that lead here. That pitch misses outside for a ball. A ball and a strike on Frost. Frost digs in for the 1-1 pitch. Here it is. She'll put a swing into that one, sends it into left center field, back towards the wall, but it's caught out there just in front of the fence, and that's going to be a double play. No, it's thrown away, and Reginald is able to dive back in safely, and she'll stay at second base. Reginald was closer to third base than she was to second on that play. She thought it was going to fall. Very well could have been out on that play, but the throw, which would have been in time, was off the mark, and she'll remain at second base. So Mills, the left fielder, makes the grab on that play for the first out of the side. 1 out, Reginald on second base, and that brings in Katie Rudin. Rudin, the catcher, batting third for Columbus. She'll dig in with 1 on and 1 out. Here's the first pitch of the AB as that one's going to bounce in the dirt. That's a ball. And well before the throw, Reginald makes her way into third base on the wild pitch. Running on third base now for the Sailors. Just 1 away as Katie Rudin digs in. Ball and no strikes. Here's the 1-0 pitch. That would be mishandled by Rob behind the plate, but she quickly recovers and gets the ball before Reginald can try to come in to score. Count goes to 2-0. Reginald over on third base for Waterloo Columbus as Rudin digs in for the 2-0 pitch. Sailors leading 9-3 here in the bottom of the 3rd. Here's the pitch from Anderson. That pitch misses outside for ball 3. Correction called for strike 1. 2 balls and a strike, the count on Rudin. Rudin digs in for the 2-1. Here's the pitch. Holds back, and it is going to be called for ball 3. 3 balls and a strike to count on the junior catcher, Katie Rudin. Sydney Gardner is on deck for the Sailors. Here comes the 3-1 pitch. Now it's put into play over to third base. Canoop Fields, throw over to home plate is not in time. And sliding in safely is Cameron Reginald. As that will put another run on the board for Waterloo Columbus. It's 10-3. As now the home plate umpire is going to come out and talk to the umpire working the bases. They're going to have a quick chat. Some head nodding and head shaking going on. Now he's going to turn and talk to Coach Olmsted. Appears the call will stay as called. That puts another run on the board for the Sailors. It's 10-3. Our score as into the ball game. The courtesy run for the Sailors is Claire Schaefer.
And at bat, number 30, playing first,
Sydney Gardner will dig in for the Sailors. She's got Claire Schaefer, the courtesy runner, over at first base. And just one out here in the bottom of the third. Sailors leading this contest 10-3. Here's the first pitch to the AB. It's going to be fouled off, out of play. Count goes to 0-1. Ten to 3 lead here for the Sailors as here comes the pitch. That one's low in the dirt. Schaefer nearly takes off, but she'll stay put. Count is 1-1. One pitch upcoming to Sydney Gardner. Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss. That's strike 2. Nice pitch from Anderson there. Ball and 2 strikes for the junior Gardner. Here's the 1-2 pitch. That one's fouled back, so Gardner will stay alive. Count remains at a ball and 2 strikes. Gardner continues to at bat here after the foul ball. 1-2 count. Here comes the pitch. That one misses for ball 2. Throw over to first base is not in time as Schaefer is back in safely. And she came off the bag as she was standing up. And she is called out. The throw over to first was not in time. But she did touch, or she was tagged after she completely came off the bag while she was getting up out of the dirt. So we've got 2 away. Bases are now empty as Gardner digs in with a 2-2 count. Here's the pitch. That one's high out of the zone, so the count has been worked full. 3 balls and 2 strikes is the count on Sydney Gardner. Gardner trying to continue the inning now with 2 outs and the base is empty. Sailors leading this one 10-3. Here's the pitch. Watches that one and she is walked. That's ball 4. And Gardner is safely down to first base. And that will bring up Nia Simmons, the third baseman for the Sailors, batting in the 5 spot. She'll bat here with 2 outs. And a runner on first base for Waterloo Columbus. Here's the first pitch of the AB, and it's going to be taken for a called strike. No balls and a strike on the junior, Nia Simmons. Here's the 0-1 pitch from Anderson. That's over the head of the catcher, Robb, and Gardner will move up to second base. Robb threw down to second, but it was not in time and mishandled by Gates, the shortstop. The second baseman, Anton, does back up her shortstop. Nonetheless, Gardner advances to second on the wild pitch. And the Sailors do have a runner in scoring position here with 2 away in the bottom of the third. Here's the pitch. That's put into play into right field. That'll be a base hit. Gardner's coming home, and the throw is going to be not in time. She dives in safely, and wisely, Simmons advances to second base on the throw. That's an RBI base hit for Nia Simmons. It's 11-3. Nice hard ground ball between the first baseman and second baseman. Gets into right field. And that puts another run on the board. So that'll bring up Ella Smith, batting sixth for the Sailors. Smith 1 for 2 so far today. Bats here with a runner on second. Here's the first pitch. Watches that one, and it's a called strike. Smith had a hard ground ball into right field for a base hit her first at bat, and then she grounded into a double play her second. Bats here with Simmons over at second base and 2 away. Here's the 0-1 pitch. Holds back on that one. It misses well outside for ball 1. To even the count at 1 ball, 1 strike. Smith digs in for the 1-1 pitch. Here's the delivery from Anderson. Puts that one weakly into play. Ground fielded over there by Gates. It's short. Strong throw to first. It is in time. And that will retire the side, but not before the Sailors add to their lead. They lead it 11-3 as we head to inning number 4. Stay tuned. You're listening to Waterloo Columbus Softball on 1650 The Fan. Waterloo Columbus down at 2 more runs in the bottom of the third. They lead it 11-3 here in the top half of inning number 4. As the Union Knights will start with the bottom of their lineup. Emily Anton will bat to begin the inning. Ellie Smith still in the circle for Waterloo Columbus. He's gone 3 innings so far, has given up 3 runs. It's an 11-3 lead for the Sailors as Anton digs in. Here's the pitch from Smith. First pitch of the at-bat misses, low and inside for ball 1. It's a 1-0 count for Anton, the 8th grader in the starting lineup for the Knights. She's 0 for 1 so far on the day. That pitch misses upstairs for ball 2. Anton popped out to Hogan at second base in her first at-bat. That pitch misses as well, so it's quickly 3-0.
Right, let's go.
3 balls, no strike for Emily Anton. Here's the 3-0 delivery. That pitch does catch the strike zone for a strike. Anton watches it with a 3-0 count. Now the count moves to 3-1. 3 balls and a strike for the 8th grader, batting 9th for the Knights. Here's the pitch. There's a little pop fly, but it's going to get out of play. Hits the roof of the Columbus dugout. Count is full, 3 balls, 2 strikes. Here's the 3-2. That one swung on, hit into the air. It's going to land in left center field, and that's a base hit. The 8th grader is aboard of the single into left center. Good piece of hitting there as now Anton stands aboard at first base. We're back to the top of the order for the Knights. That'll be Ava Mills into bat for Union. First pitch of the at-bat misses outside. Or correction, does just catch the outside corner of the zone for a strike. No balls and a strike is the count for Ava Mills, the sophomore. Has not recorded an official at-bat so far today, as that pitch is going to catch her on the lower leg. And the first two batters of the inning reach for Union. Runners on first and second base. That'll bring up Avery Canoop, the freshman. Freshman third baseman for Union. Bath with runners on first and second and nobody out here in the top half of inning number 4. First pitch is a called strike. Just caught the outside corner of the strike zone. Nice spot for the pitcher, Ella Smith. Mills and Anton on base for the Knights on first and second respectively. As the second pitch of the AB is fouled down the third base line. Count moves to 0-2. No balls and 2 strikes the count on Avery Canoop. She'll dig in for the 0-2 pitch. Here's the pitch from Smith. That one's going to miss upstairs for a ball. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Smith closing in on the century mark here tonight. That was her 98th pitch of the ball game. Here's pitch 99. It's put into play. Weak little grounder. In and out of the glove of Simmons, but she'll hustle over and make the play to get the lead runner at third base. Another good heads-up play there from Simmons at third base to get the lead runner. And that'll be the first out of the side. So Anton out, trying to advance to third base. Runner still on first and second, now 1 away. As in steps Jocelyn Gates for Union. First pitch just misses for a ball. It's 1-0. Sailors leading this ball game 11-3 in the top of the 4th. Here's the 1-0 pitch. That one misses upstairs. 2-0 is now the count. Two balls, no strike. Smith delivers the pitch. That pitch does catch the strike zone for a called strike 1. 2 balls and a strike now. Here's the 2-1 pitch. Knocked over to Simmons, in and out of her glove, but again she feels it does the same thing as last time. Steps on the third base bag to get the lead runner. And we've got 2 away here in the top half of inning number 4. That'll bring up the cleanup hitter for Union. That's Dina Robb. Sophomore is 0 for 1 so far today. She walked and then grounded into a fielder's choice. Watches the first pitch of the AB. It misses outside for a ball. Gates is at first. Canoop is at second base for the Knights. They trail 11-3 here with 2 outs in the top of the 4th. 1-0 pitch catches the zone for a called strike. Count is even at 1-1. Here's the 1-1 pitch. That pitch is also called for a strike. Smith has worked the count to a ball and 2 strikes here with 2 outs in inning number 4. Here's the 1-2 pitch. That one's going to miss high out of the zone. Evens the count, 2 balls and 2 strikes. Robb digs in for the 2-2 pitch. 2 outs, 2 on. Here in number 4. Here's the pitch. That one's going to miss inside as well, so the count has been worked full. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Have to assume both runners will be in motion here with a full count and 2 outs. Here's the payoff pitch. Put into play. It's going to be fair down the left field, into left field. That will score at least 1 run, and that's all it's going to score. As a nice throw from Frost, gets it back in quickly. That puts another run on the board for for Union. It's now 11-4. RBI base hit there from Rob as Knoop comes in to score from second base. Gates also advanced to third on the play. And Rob advanced to second base on the throw. We're going to have a courtesy runner into the ball game for the Knights. As again, into the game for Union is Addie Pospisil, the 8th grader, courtesy running for the catcher, Rob. She'll stand at second base as Bridget Rohrer digs in with 2 outs here in the top of the 4th. It's an 11-4 ball game. As that pitch is going to miss inside. Nice job by the catcher, Rudin, to keep it from going anywhere. 1 ball and no strikes is the count. Runners on second and third with 2 outs here in the 4th. Smith with the 1-0 pitch. That pitch is going to miss high out of the zone for ball 2. 2 balls, no strike. Here's the 2-0 pitch. That pitch does catch the strike zone. 4 strike 1, 2 balls and a strike now the count. Here's the 2-1 pitch. Now one misses outside for ball 3, so the count moves to 3-1. Three balls and 1 strike on Rohrer. Here's the 3-1. That is popped into the air. Back towards the dugout. It'll land on top of the Columbus dugout for a foul ball. The count is now full at 3-2. Along top of the 4th, and now we've got 2 outs as Rohrer digs in for a 3-2 pitch. Runners on second and third. Here's the pitch. That one will miss. Rolling inside for ball 4. And the bases are loaded here for the Knights. Rohrer at first base, Pospisil at second, Gates aboard at third, and that'll bring up Carly Rickard. Rickard did not start the ball game for the Knights, came in off the bench. 0 for 1 so far. Watches the first pitch, it misses for a ball. Rickard reached on an error in her first at-bat. Bats here with the bases loaded and 2 away. Here's the 1-0. That pitch does catch the zone for a called strike.
Stay there, let's go.
Smith evens up the count 1-1.
Stay there, let's go.
Smith with the delivery. Here's the 1-1 pitch. That pitch catches the zone. Throw over to third base is not in time. Gates gets back in safely. Called strike there, makes the count 1 ball and 2 strike. Now Smith tries to get out of the bases loaded situation. Here's the 1-2 pitch. That pitch is going to miss high out of the zone. Count goes to 2-2. Here's the 2-2 from Smith. They put in play. Over to second base, fielded by Weber. Throw is in time, and that will retire the side. Just the 1 run comes across for the Knights. It's 11-4, Waterloo Columbus on top as we head to the bottom of the 4th. Stay tuned. You're listening to Waterloo Columbus Softball on 1650 The Fan.
Now,
we're in the bottom of the 4th here in Waterloo, and we've got a new pitcher for the Union Knights. Into the circle for the Knights is Bridget Rohrer. Rohrer making her 4th appearance of the season in 3 2/3 of an inning. She has not recorded a decision. ERA is at 3.82, 4 walks and 1 strikeout for her. Rohrer moves from first base to the pitching circle. And now playing first base is going to be Mallory Rage, the former right fielder, now playing at first. Try to get it all sorted out here who's playing in right field. Looks like now playing right field for Union is going to be Addie Pospisil. We've seen her courtesy run a couple times here tonight for the Knights. now playing in the field defensively in right field. So Rohr moves from first base to the pitching circle. Rage moves from right field to first base. Pospisil comes into the ball game and now playing right field. And the former pitcher, Zandra Anderson, exits the ball game, as that should get all the changes sorted out here as we get set to go in the bottom of the fourth. It'll be Avery Hogan into bat for the Sailors. She had come out of the ball game for a little bit as the defensive replacement. Abby Weber played second base for a couple innings for the Sailors. But now Avery Hogan back into the ball game to bat here to begin the bottom half of inning number 4. Rohr with her first pitch of this appearance. Pitch is going to miss for ball 1. Rohr's pitched a handful of times this season, but they haven't been very long outings. They've averaged just over 1 inning each at 3 appearances, 3 2/3 innings pitched total. The 1-0 pitch catches the zone for a called strike, evens it up 1 ball and 1 strike.
Go, Hogan.
Hogan digs in for the 1-1 pitch. Sailors on top, 11-4 here in Waterloo over the Union Knights. Here's the pitch from Rohr. Hogan holds back and checks her swing, but it's going to be a called strike. Count moves to 1-2. It's been a long ball game to this point here in the bottom of the fourth. Nearly 2 hours of game time as we've at 8:45 here local time. Game started around 7. Swing and a miss, strike 3. It's dropped, but the throw over to first is over the head of the first baseman. And Hogan's going to make the turn and go to second base, and she slides in safely. So ruled a strikeout, but a drop third strike, and Rob's throw goes over the head of the first baseman, Rage. That results in Avery Hogan standing aboard at second base, I should say. So great awareness and hustle out of the box by the speedy Avery Hogan. And now there will be nobody out and runner on second base for Micah Bromley as she digs in here in the bottom half of the fourth. Here's the first pitch. Holds back on that one and it misses for a ball. 1 ball and no strike on Micah Bromley. It's 2 for 2 on the day so far. Another hit here would almost certainly score a run. Anything out of the outfield probably scores Hogan. There's a high pop fly, as that is going to be caught out there in left field by Ava Mills. And that'll be the first out of the side. High pop fly caught in shallow left field for the first out. And we've reached the bottom of the lineup for Waterloo Columbus, as Maddie Rudin will bat for the Sailors. Rudin's 1 for 2 on the day. Hit a line drive into left field and then struck out looking last time. She bats with Hogan on second base here with 1 out in the fourth. Squares the bunt. Lays it down, but it's going to go foul. So that'll be a foul ball for strike 1. No balls, 1 strike on Rudin. Tried to advance Hogan over to third base on that play. She'll step back in. Rudin, one of the few batters here tonight, hitting from the left side. Rohr, like all the pitchers we've seen, is a righty. Squares the bunt again. Tries to set that one down. It's going to stay fair. And she is out at first base. It was a close play, but she is out. But the sacrifice works as intended as Avery Hogan moves up 60 feet, and now she's over at third base.
Number 6, center fielder, Cameron Reginald.
So we're back to the top of the order for the Sailors. Cameron Reginald stepped in for her 4th plate appearance of the ballgame. She's 0 for 1 today. She's been walked twice. Here's the first pitch. It's put into play into center field, and it is going to be caught out there by Rickert. And that one with time to the side. So nothing comes across the score for the Sailors. Our score remains 11-4 as we head to the 5th inning here in Waterloo. Stay tuned. You're listening to Waterloo Columbus Softball on 1650 The Fan. Welcome back to Waterloo, where we have reached inning number 5 between the Sailors and the Knights. Waterloo Columbus on top of the Union Knights by a score of 11-4. 7-8-9 up to bat for the Knights here in the top half of the 5th. And leading off will be the former right fielder now playing first base. That is Mallory Rage. The freshman digs in. First pitch is going to miss, and that's ball one. 1 ball, no strikes. Rage so far today is 0 for 2. Popped out to second and then grounded into a fielder's choice over at third base. Watches the second pitch, and it's in there for a called strike. Evens up the count at 1-1. Smith with the 1-1 delivery. Swing and a miss, strike 2.
Good job, let's get out of here.
A ball and 2 strikes is the count on Rage. Smith working in her 5th inning here tonight. Started the ball game and is still in the circle. Here's the 1-2 pitch. That pitch is going to miss for ball 2 to even it up at 2-2. It's been 124 pitches so far for Smith, 55 balls and 69 strikes. That pitch is hit into the air, into right center field. Play is going to be made out there by Maddie Rudin. She makes the grab out there and right. And that will be the first down to the side.
17. Right fielder. Go. Push it. Pospisil.
That'll bring in Addie Pospisil batting in the 8th spot. That spot was formerly filled by the pitcher Zandra Anderson. Now Addie Pospisil filling that spot for the Knights as the first pitch misses for ball 1. It's the first at-bat here today for Pospisil. She started the game on the bench, came into courtesy run a couple times, and now she's playing right field. Second pitch misses high for ball 2. Pospisil's had 10 at-bats so far this year. She's picked up 2 hits, so she's batting .200. Does have 1 RBI as well as 2 strikeouts. Just an 8th grader is Pospisil. And she swings through that one for the first strike of the at-bat. 2 balls and a strike. Here's the 2-1. That one's going to miss as well. Not by much, but it's the called ball. 3 balls and a strike is the count. Seems tonight's umpire has a fairly small strike zone. And plenty of balls so far tonight. Here's the 3-1. That one misses as well, and Pospisil in her first at-bat of the ball game draws a walk, and she'll make her way down to first base. Now stepping in will be another 8th grader. That's Emily Anton wearing number 8. She's 1 for 2 so far in the ball game. She digs in with the runner on first. First pitch is low, out of the zone for the ball. Anton popped out to second her first at-bat, and then she hit a line drive into center field. Watches the 1-0 pitch, and it's upstairs for ball 2. Sun setting here in Waterloo. It's an 11-4 lead for the Sailors. Here's the 2-0 pitch. As that pitch is going to miss for ball 3. Count moves to 3-0. Here's the 3-0. And that pitch misses upstairs for ball 4. So after the first batter of the side is retired via the fly out, back-to-back walks. And Sailor head coach Chris Olmstead is going to head onto the field. Looks like we may have a new pitcher for Waterloo Columbus. As it looks like Smith is going to walk over to first base. Looks like the new pitcher for the Sailors will be Micah Bromley. Bromley warmed up a couple innings ago, and now she comes into the ball game, and she'll do the pitching here in the 5th with 1 out and 2 on. Bromley, a freshman, making her 3rd appearance of the season. In 5 2/3 innings so far this year, she's 1-0. ERA is at 6.18. She has 3 walks and 7 strikeouts. So Bromley moves from shortstop, and now she's in the pitcher's circle. We'll see how all the other substitutions are handled once Bromley completes her warm-up pitches. Top of the fifth here in Waterloo. It's 11-4. Sailors leading this contest. Sailors have scored 11 runs on 9 hits, 2 errors so far in this game. The Knights of Union Community High School, 4 runs on 5 hits. They've committed 3 errors. Sailors put up 9 runs in the first, none in the second. They had 2 in the third and none in the fourth. The Knights, no runs until the third inning when they put up 3. They had 1 in the fourth. And nothing so far here in the fifth. They do have 2 on with 1 away. We have reached the top of the batting order for the Knights. It'll be Ava Mills, as it looks like Avery Hogan is going to slide over from second base, and now she'll play shortstop. Now playing second base will be the center fielder, Reginald.
And now batting for the Union Knights. Your leadoff batter.
As in digs Mills for Union.
Mills.
First pitch is going to be a called strike. And to complete the substitutions there, I believe Rudin slid over from right field to center field. Gardner, the first baseman, is now out there in right. As there's a second pitch. That one's put in play. It's fielded by Hogan. Throws over to third base to get the lead runner. And that will be the second out of the side. And to complete the substitutions, the former pitcher Smith is now playing first base. So the new shortstop, Avery Hogan, is tested right away, and she makes the play. Gets the lead runner at third for the second out. And that will bring up Avery Canoop for the Knights. First pitch misses, low and inside for a ball. 1-0 the count. Canoop's 1 for 3 so far in the day. Had a line drive into right field. As the second pitch is a called strike. That'll even up the count 1-1. Here's the 1-1 pitch from Bromley. Swing and a miss. That's strike 2.
Yeah, Micah.
Bromley's looked very effective here in her first few pitches. Has Canoop to a 1-2 count with 2 outs in the top of the fifth. Here's the pitch. That one's going to miss outside. Count is evened up at 2-2. Here's the 2-2 delivery. Now it's put into play over the glove, and Hogan makes the dive but can't get there. That'll be a base hit into short left field, and that'll load the bases. So Canoop with the base hit, and that'll bring him the 3-hole hitter for Union. That's Jocelyn Gates. The senior is 2 for 3 so far today. Had a couple of base hits to the outfield, 1 to left and 1 to center. First pitch of this at-bat is fouled back. Count goes to 0-1. Last time up, Gates hit a hard grounder over to Simmons at third base. Simmons quickly stepped on the third base bag to record the out via the fielder's choice. Here's the 0-1 pitch. Now it's hit into the air, and it's going to go foul down the right field line. A couple of foul balls make the count 0-2. Bromley working ahead early in this at-bat. Bases loaded and 2 outs here in the top of the fifth. Bromley delivers the pitch. Now it's put into play. Hogan fields it short, but she's barreled into by the runner Mills, and that'll be an out. As Hogan cleanly fielded the ball and was barreled into, and that will retire the side. Score remains 11-4 as we head to the bottom of the fifth. Stay tuned. You're listening to Waterloo Columbus Softball on 1650 The Fan. Welcome back to Columbus Catholic High School here in Waterloo. It's an 11-4 advantage for the Sailors on top of the Union Knights. As we enter the bottom half of inning number 5. 3 runs from the Sailors would end the ball game via the 10-run rule, as they lead it by 7 here at 11-4. Bridget Rohr back in the circle for her second inning of work. 2-3-4 will bat for the Sailors. Haley Frost will lead the inning off. She'll be followed by Rudin and Gardner. Final warm-up pitch has been thrown. Rob throws it down to second base. And we're going to get the bottom half of inning number 5 underway here from Waterloo.
Left fielder, number 2, Haley Frost.
Haley Frost digs in here to begin the inning. Frost is 0 for 2 so far today. She reached via the walk, and then her last 2 at-bats, she's flown out to the left fielder. Digs in to begin the 5th inning here. Swings the first pitch and fouls that one out of play. It'll be a foul ball. No balls and a strike on Frost. Here's the 0-1 pitch. Lets that one go, and it's a ball. 1 ball and 1 strike is the count. Sailors leading this contest 11-4 here in the bottom half of the 5th. Here's the 1-1 pitch. Puts that one in play. Ground ball, fielded it short by Gates. Throws from her knees, but it's not in time, and the ball gets away from the first baseman. Frost is going to take the turn, and she'll head into second base. It was an infield single as the throw was not in time. But then via the error, E6, error on the shortstop, it'll be Frost advancing to second base. Now in steps Katie Rudin for Waterloo Columbus. 3-hole hitter for the Sailors digs in. Runner on second base. First pitch bounces in the dirt and gets away from the catcher. Frost will easily make her way into third base. Now runner just 60 feet away here with nobody out in the bottom of the 5th. Rudin's 1 for 2 on the day so far. Had a sacrifice, lined for a single in center, and then she grounded into a fielder's choice. Looking to pick up an RBI here. Holds back on that pitch, and it's a ball. 2 balls, no strikes is the count. Here's the 2-0 pitch from Rohr. Watches that one, and it misses as well. 3 balls, no strikes. Rudin digs in here, ahead 3-0. See if she's taking here on the 3-0 pitch, or if she looks to swing at anything good. Here's the pitch. Swings at that one, sends a drive back towards left field. It's caught just in front of the wall, but that will score a run as Frost tags up and easily comes in to score. As Mills made the catch against the fence out there in left, Frost tags and scores, and it's 12-4 with 1 away here in the bottom of the 5th. Now stepping in will be Sydney Gardner. Gardner, the former first baseman, now playing right field for the Sailors. Digs in with nobody on and 1 away. Here's the first pitch of the AB. Puts a drive into that one, but it's going to go foul down the left field line. High, long fly ball, but it goes foul. Gardner's 0 for 1 so far today. She walked, went down via the strikeout, and then walked again. Sailors need just 2 runs here in the bottom of the 5th to end the ball game. Gardner digs in. Here's the 0-1. That pitch is low and inside. That's going to be a ball. Count evens up at 1-1. 12-4 our score here in Waterloo at Columbus Catholic High School. Nobody on and one out here in the bottom of the fifth. There's the 1-1 pitch. It bounces, misses outside. 2 balls and a strike now to count. Gardner digs in here. Ahead in the count, 2 balls and a strike. Rohr with the delivery. That pitch is going to miss in the dirt. Count goes to 3-1.
The New York Times reports that the U.S. Justice Department has decided not to charge former Trump officials Mark Meadows and Dan Scavino for not complying with the House Select Committee investigation.
3 balls and a strike. Here's the count on Sydney Gardner. Rohr with the delivery. Now scribbles slowly to shortstop. Gates fields, throws over to first. It is in time. And that will be the second out of the side. Jocelyn Gates, the shortstop, makes the play. And we've got 2 away here in the bottom of the fifth. That'll bring up Nia Simmons. It's been a great ball game for her so far. She's 3 for 3. Has singled to all positions in the outfield. Has a base hit to left, center, and right. Has hit it all over the park so far tonight. She digs in with nobody on and 2 away here in the bottom half of the fifth, with her club leading this ball game 12-4. Here's the first pitch to Simmons. Watches that one, and it's going to be a ball. 1 ball, no strikes is the count. Simmons digs in. Here's the 1-0 pitch. That one's in the dirt. Bounces ahead of home plate. That'll be ball 2.
After a series of recent mass shootings, negotiators on Capitol Hill are trying to
2 balls and no strikes is the count.
gun legislation. CBS's Scott McFarland says Democrats in the House want to hear from some survivors.
Rohr with the 2-0 pitch. That'll be a hard ground ball, fielded it short by Gates. Throw is just in time, beats her by a step. Great play by Gates, ranging to her left to make the play. That will retire the side, just the 1 run across for the Sailors. It's 12-4 as we head to the 6th. Stay tuned, you're listening to Waterloo Columbus Softball on 1650 The Fan. Reached the top of the 6th here in Waterloo. It's a 12-4 advantage for the Sailors. As leading off the inning for Union will be Dina Robb, the catcher. Micah Bromley still in the circle for the Sailors. Came in relief in the last inning, pitched the last 2/3. First pitch to Robb is a called strike. A 1-1 count for the sophomore catcher. She's 1 for 2 so far today. Walked, grounded into a fielder's choice, and then hit a line drive single to left. That pitch is going to miss in the dirt for a ball. Ball and a strike. Here is the count. Bromley with the 1-1 pitch. Swing and a miss. There's strike 2. Robb swings through that one. Here comes the 1-2 pitch. That one's awkwardly hit off the bat, fielded over at second base by Reginald. She makes the throw in time, and that's the first out of the side. Bit of a half-hearted swing there by Robb, hit a slow grounder over to second. And we've got 1 away as in steps the pitcher, Bridget Rohr. Started the ball game at first base and now is the current pitcher for the Knights. She'll bat with 1 away and nobody on here in the top half of inning number 6. First pitch is going to miss for a ball. Pitch misses low and inside. 1 ball and no strikes is the count on Rohr. 1-0 pitch also misses. Now the count's 2-0. Rohr quickly works ahead. Sun is almost completely set here in Waterloo. Lights are on full blast as we've gone past 9 o'clock local time. Here's the 2-0 pitch. That pitch is going to miss for ball 3. Much better spot than the previous 2, but still didn't quite catch the zone. 3 balls, no strikes is the count. As Rohr digs in. Here's the 3-0 from Bromley. That pitch will catch the strike zone. 3 balls and a strike is the count now. Rohr 0 for 1 in the day so far. It's drawn a pair of walks. Also popped out to left field. 3-1 pitch is going to miss, and that's going to be ball 4. As Rohr jogs down to first base. And that'll bring up Carly Rickert, the senior, playing in just her second game of the season. Entered this ball game off the bench. She's 0 for 2 so far today. Reached on an error in her first at-bat and also grounded out to second as that first pitch is a called strike. No balls and a strike on the senior for the Knights. Rohr aboard over at first base. 12-4 advantage for Waterloo Columbus. That's a check swing, but a called strike nonetheless. And the count moves to 0-2. Here's the 0-2 delivery. That was put in play right back to Bromley. It's fielded by Hogan. She throws over to second base and gets the lead runner. Good heads-up play by Avery Hogan, the shortstop. Gets the fielder's choice, and we've got 2 away. Rohr, the base runner, called out, trying to advance to second. Rickert does reach first base. But now we've got 2 outs, as in steps Mallory Rage. First pitch of the at-bat catches the outside corner for a strike. 0-1 is the count. Rage is 0 for 3 so far today. It's popped out to second, grounded into a fielder's choice, and then flew out to right field. Puts that one into play, and there's her first base hit of the ball game as it's hit into left field. Frost picked it up and makes a very strong throw over to second base, but it's not quite in time. Weak little liner into left field. Results in the first base hit from Rage. We've got runners on first and second. As now Coach Olmsted is going to make his way out onto the field. The 8th grader Addie Pospisil is due up for Union. It looks like Coach Olmsted just took the ball from Bromley, and it looks like Haley Frost, the ace pitcher on this Columbus pitching staff who did not start today, is going to come into the ball game and get these last 4 outs. Looks like it'll be a simple 1-for-1 switch as Frost will come in from left field to now pitch, and Micah Bromley will leave the pitcher circle, and she will now be the new left fielder for the Sailors. So as I mentioned, Haley Frost, the ace pitcher on this Waterloo Columbus ball club, is making her 9th appearance of the season, just her 3rd relief appearance. So far this year, she's pitched 38 1/3 innings. She's got 5 wins to just 1 loss. Her ERA is a very impressive 1.83, and her strikeout to walk ratio is also very good, 38 strikeouts, just 8 walks. Leads the Sailors in every statistical category when it comes to pitching. So she'll try to get the last 4 outs, or if her offense can get 2 runs in the bottom of the 6th, it could just be 1 more out that's needed. Either way, Frost entered the ball game to try to close this one out. Sailors have now used all 3 pitchers that have seen time this season. It's not a very, as is the case with many softball clubs, not too many different pitchers are used. And Frost is undisputedly the best one of the best pitchers in the state. Very impressive pitcher is Haley Frost. Here's the first pitch of the AB. That pitch catches the zone for a strike. Count goes to 0-1. Batter is Addie Pospisil. The 8th grader entered the game off the bench, 0 for 0, after drawing a walk in her first at-bat. There's another called strike, and it's quickly 0-2. Frost wasting no time here. quickly has the count, no balls, 2 strikes. Here's the 0-2 pitch. That one's chopped foul down the first base line. Pospisil just does manage to stay alive in the AB. Count goes to 0-2. Here's the 0-2 again. Swing and a miss, strike 3, and quickly Frost uses 4 pitches to get the final out of the side. And we go to the bottom half of inning number 6 with a 12-4 Columbus lead. Stay tuned. You're listening to Waterloo Columbus Softball on 1650 The Fan. Welcome back to Columbus Baseball here from Columbus Catholic High School. Another new pitcher into the ball game for the Knights. That'll be the former shortstop, Jocelyn Gates, moving into the pitcher circle. This will be the first pitching appearance of the season for Gates. She's played in and started every game so far this season, but none of those games have come as the pitcher. She will be the pitcher here as we head to the bottom of the 6th. 12-4 lead for Waterloo Columbus. They could end the ball game with 2 runs here in the 6th. Ella Smith digs in for Waterloo Columbus. That first pitch misses outside for a ball. Smith was the starting pitcher for the Sailors tonight. Moved over to first base. Here's the 1-0 pitch. That one's in the dirt for a ball. 2 balls, no strikes is the count. As I said, first time seeing Gates pitch this season for Union. Here's the 2-0 pitch. That one's in the dirt as well. 3-0 the count. So no statistics on Gates coming into this appearance. 3 balls and no strikes. That pitch does catch the strike zone. That'll be a called strike. Here's the 3-1 pitch. And that pitch is going to miss outside for ball 4. And Smith will hustle down the first baseline, and she's aboard at first base after drawing the walk. That'll bring up Avery Hogan, the shortstop for the Sailors, batting with the runner on. And nobody out. Hogan is the winning run in this situation. I touched on it earlier in the broadcast. Hogan just helped the Sailors win a tennis state championship earlier this week. As that pitch is a ball in the dirt. And moving up 60 feet is Smith. In that championship match against Cedar Rapids Xavier, Hogan won her match 6-1, 4-6, and 1-0. As that pitch is in the dirt for a ball. And with a 5-4 decision being the final decision in that state championship, Hogan, as well as all the teammates of Hogan that won, very much needed to do so. As any one of those girls loses, they wouldn't have clinched that state championship. Very impressive dual sport athlete is Hogan as she sends that one back to the pitcher. Gates with a wild throw over to first base. It's not in time. Hogan will advance up to second base. And crossing the plate is Ella Smith. That hit off of Gates probably would have just been a base hit, but instead she threw it away. And Hogan advances to second on the error. And that'll be Smith coming in to score on that same error. Micah Bromley steps in for the Sailors. Reminder, Hogan is the winning run here as there's a high fly ball, but it's shallow, and it's going to be caught by the second baseman. Believe that is Rage now playing second base. Yep, Rage on the catch there, just over the lip of the grass in very shallow right field. So that'll be the first out of the side. And looks like we're going to have a pinch hitter here. That'll be Abby Ettringer entering the ball game and getting the at-bat. Ettringer playing in her 6th game of the season. She's 1 for 4 for a .250 batting average so far this year. 1 RBI, 1 walk, and 2 strikeouts. She'll dig in with the winning run on second base. First pitch is in the dirt. Hogan's going to make her way over to third base, and she slides in safely. The winning run's now just 60 feet away. One ball and no strike to Abby Ettringer, the freshman, coming into the ball game here late in the contest. Sailors leading this one 13-4. Ettringer batting from the right side as swings through that one for the first strike of the at-bat. One ball, one strike. As Ettringer digs in for the 1-1 pitch. That one's in the dirt, gets away. Hogan's coming in. This would end the ball game, and she slides in safely without a throw. And that is going to do it. As Hogan slides in safely to put the 14th run of the ball game on the board for Waterloo Columbus, and that will invoke the 10-run mercy rule. Our final score here from Waterloo, Sailors 14, Knights 4. We're going to step aside, and we come back. We'll put all the numbers together, give you the final stats, and sign off here from Waterloo. So stay tuned for the postgame show coming up after this. You're listening to Waterloo Columbus Softball on 1650 The Fan. Welcome to the Waterloo Columbus Softball postgame show here from Waterloo. I'm David Warrington, and the Sailors just wrapped up a 14-4 victory over the Union Knights. They now move to 16-0 over the Knights as far back as the numbers online go. Knights fall to 1-7 with the loss, and with the win, Sailors improve to 8-2. They've now lost won 8, I should say, of their last 9 contests. Very impressive streak of games from the Waterloo Columbus Sailors. Let's take a look at the final numbers for tonight's ball game. The Sailors, the victors here tonight, scored 14 runs on 11 hits, 2 errors, and they left 5 runners on base. Union scored 4 runs on 7 hits, 5 errors. They left 13 runners on base. Multiple times they had the bases loaded and couldn't capitalize, leaving 3 runners on there at a time. That was very detrimental to the Knights here tonight, and they come out on the losing end of a 14-4 decision. Believe it or not, this game that nearly went 2.5 hours early 2.5 hours long did end early, as the Sailors ended this one in the bottom of the 6th with 1 away. In the circle, the win will go to Ella Smith. She improves to 2-1 in the season. She went 4 1/3 innings, allowed 5 hits with 4 runs, 3 of which were earned, 7 walks and 2 strikeouts. Micah Bromley pitched 1 1/3 innings of relief, gave up 2 hits, no runs, 1 walk. And Haley Frost finished out the night for the Sailors. She pitched 1/3 of an inning and got a strikeout. For Union, starting pitcher Brooklyn Hubbard takes the loss. She's now 0-4 on the season. She only made it 1/3 of an inning, gave up 5 hits with 8 runs, 7 earned, 3 walked, no strikeouts. Anderson pitched 2 2/3 innings of relief, gave up 4 hits, 3 runs, 2 earned, 3 walks, and 2 strikeouts. Rohr made it 2 innings, gave up a hit, a run, which was unearned, and 1 strikeout. And then Jocelyn Gates pitched the last 1/3 of an inning after the game ended early. 1 hit, 2 runs, 1 earned, 1 walk for Gates. Sailors put up 9 runs in the first inning and then just cruised from there. They had 2 in the 3rd, 1 in the 5th, and the 2 that ended it in the 6th. Knights managed 3 runs in the 3rd and 1 in the 4th for their 4-run total. Only 1 extra base hit for Union. Jocelyn Gates had a double. And only 1 extra base hit here for Columbus as well, as Micah Bromley, the freshman, also managed a double for Waterloo Columbus. So again, with the victory, the Sailors improve on their impressive record. They're now 8-2, and with the loss, the Knights fall to 1-7 on this still fairly young season as we work through our first week of June here in this softball season. So ladies and gentlemen, that's going to do it for tonight. Thank you so much for tuning in and listening to 1650 The Fan's coverage of Waterloo Columbus softball. Been so happy to provide you with this coverage, and we'll be back on the air on Monday. Waterloo Columbus is back here in Waterloo, hosting Denver for a doubleheader. You can catch all the action right here on 1650 The Fan, pregame beginning at 4:50, first pitch scheduled for 5 o'clock. Before we sign off, I have to thank all of our great sponsors that make this possible. Community Buick GMC, Electronic Engineering, Air Services, CDFS Financial Strategies, and the Waterloo Columbus Booster Club. Thanks so much to all those that make this broadcast possible. So one more time, our final score, Waterloo Columbus 14, Union 4, Sailors win it in 6 here in Waterloo. For my producer, Angie Sturm, I'm David Warrington saying good night from Waterloo.